value investing, and if
Okay.
we scale that up, we would definitely meet our demand. Yes.
So what's the like the fundamental difference between value investing and investing in general? I mean, when someone's investing, aren't they always looking for equities that are that are mispriced?
Right.
that are
Well, it's a
underpriced?
focus on risk. Okay, so we're trying to eliminate the downside. We're trying to have a margin of safety between the actual price and the intrinsic value of a company, and with that cushion, hopefully we can achieve results.
So is it higher risk? Is that what you're saying, or lower risk?
Lower risk. We're taking risk out, or we're trying to eliminate risk.
And like what? Like by how much?
It depends. A good thumb rule is about 33% downside coverage.
Okay.
Do you see this as a half semester course, a full semester course?
So I'm going to jump right into it. The class organization, I think it can be a semester-long course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain that we could also do it in a year, but I think a half semester,
Yeah.
a full semester would cover it.
Yeah.
And the premise of the class, it's
Do you
going
see
to...
this as MBA and undergraduate?
Yes, I do. I think there's varying skill levels that can take
Uh-huh.
this class, but I think that this is going to be for students of all experiences with value investing.
So
or
have
none.
you looked at what the upside and downside is of putting MBAs and undergrads together in the same class?
So, assuming that MBAs have a little more knowledge on the subject,
Mhm.
there could be a certain amount of redundancy.
Uh-huh.
But if we have the numbers to take this class, I believe that we could offer an accelerated class as well that will skip initial introductions.
Oh, so are you suggesting that we have an introductory and an advanced class in value?
If the demand is there, certainly.
Uh-huh. Do you have a sense of whether the demand will
I
be
do
there?
not.
Okay. And have you looked at the faculty who can potentially teach this course?
I have. There's several that come to mind. Andrew Lowe is number one,
Uh-huh.
and I think
So Andy, what do you think about this?
Phil.
Are you willing to teach this course?
I want to hear more about it.
right. So I appreciate that,
So
Mr. Lowe. So this value investing
Worthy
course
opponent.
is going to focus on the security analysis and intelligent investor. 2 books written by Benjamin Graham in 1934. I put the graphics here because they are the pillars of the class. Okay, we're going to analyze cases in this class, present stock pitches, and there's even going to be guest speakers and a stock competition, hopefully to engage more students. And finally, we're going to analyze portfolios of several value investors throughout. Yes.
How do you imagine the stock picking, game is going to go?
It's a year-long competition. You have imaginary currency, about $100,000 worth, and you divvy it up between securities, and at the end of a year, it works. And although it is a semester-long course, we hope that this will make sure students are engaged with the subject even further than that semester.
And aren't the horizons for the realization of value, aren't those often longer than a year?
Yes, it is long-term, but what we want is people to get engaged immediately. And although we can't have a 5-year, 10-year competition, we think this emulates in the best way.
So we do have a trading room at MIT. At Sloan. Have you talked to the people who run the trading room, and can they?
I have not, and I don't really think that we're gonna need them just
Oh.
because it is it is a year-long event.
Uh-huh.
The trading room, I would imagine, is from a week-to-week, month-to-month basis.
Uh-huh.
I think this is gonna be pick your securities and let's see what happens at the end of the year.
So I know that you have guest speakers on that list. Have you done any research in who in the Boston area would be particularly good?
So the MIT name carries a lot of weight, and there are several value investors who run hedge funds
Uh-huh.
just in the Boston area. Seth Klarman's one,
Uh-huh.
Christina Jantz is another,
Uh-huh.
and those are just 2, and I'm sure there's way more. Or
Uh-huh.
more, yes.
Uh-huh.
So I showed you what the class is going to be made up of. This is how the class helps the students that take it. It instills contrarian values in the students. Warren Buffett, a famous value investor, has a great quote: "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." MIT, they hope that we don't follow a herd mentality. They want us to be independent in our thinking and change the world with that mindset. Patience. It's a long-term approach. Value investing, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just a week-to-week basis. It's a 5-year, maybe even longer horizon. I mentioned the stock picking competition. When picking your stocks, there will be several other stock pitches too. It's going to help students with the presentation skills needed for job interviews, and it helps with a public speaking experience, which I think is invaluable.
All the MBA students have to take 15280, which is the communication course. But not necessarily all the students will have taken 15279, the undergraduate version. Do you think they'll be at a disadvantage with their presentation skills?
Well, I highly recommend taking 279. I think it's a better course. But with these stock pitches, hopefully these students are coming with the same knowledge about stock pitches, and they'll be able to deliver on new content, which is great, I think. Finally, I want to talk about why this class makes sense for MIT. I talked earlier about Harvard having a class. Columbia also has a class. I posted the links here. You have the slides. You can look them up later. But there is demand here. I know I mentioned that I only have 40 friends. Hopefully. I don't know if that's the correct number. But there's demand. We have SBC, which is the Sloan Business Club, and Global Platinum Securities. Both clubs have similar stock picking competitions, which hopefully means, if we can translate that to value investing, and I think we'd have numbers to do that. And we have faculty to teach it. I mentioned earlier about Mr. Lowe and Mr. Cooper, but I think there's even more faculty members out there that have a similar interest in value investing, and hope that we can teach students the same approach. Thank you for your time, and if there's any more questions.